Demons run rampant, people are like grass and mustard. Unfortunately, after Ye Lingtian was reborn, he was just a lowly constable. Fortunately, he can consume the longevity element to infuse martial arts and perform unlimited deduction. Enhance your strength and destroy everything. Achieve the path of immortality and turn the world around. Chapter 1. Demons and Demons Rampage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The night is like ink. A piercing cold wind surged in, and Ye Lingtian woke up suddenly, looking around in panic. At this moment, he was firmly tied to a tree trunk with ropes, surrounded by lush vegetation that seemed to be in the forest. At the same time, memories that did not belong to him flooded into his mind. Demons run rampant, and humans are like cud dogs. His predecessor was a constable from the county government in Linen City. When he received the appearance of demons in Wohu village, he and several other constables came to Wohu village to subdue demons and eliminate them. But who would have expected that as soon as they arrived at Wohu village, they were ambushed by demons? The other constables had already been devoured and eaten alive by the demons, while their predecessors were still alive, entirely because they had been used as snacks by the demons. Ye Lingtian, who had reacted, immediately tried to struggle with force a few times, but the rope was very tight and couldn't break free. Is it difficult for me to really die here? The cold wind blows, and the sound of the wind drives the leaves in the forest, like countless demons howling in sorrow. Damn it! Ye Lingtian couldn't help but feel a little flustered. He didn't want to die in this wilderness. Suddenly, Ye Lingtian felt a sense of illusion before his eyes, as if space was twisting. Is it difficult to imagine that I was scared out of illusion by the snake demon? I couldn't help but widen my eyes again, looking seriously ahead. The scene before me was not an illusion. Panel. Name. Ye Lingtian, All Martial Arts. Monument Opening Hand, Beginner, Demon Hunting Blade Technique, Beginner. You can use your own lifespan to improve your martial arts level, and after killing demons, you can obtain the lifespan they have. Tip. When the lifespan is less than 1 year, it will not be usable. Remaining lifespan. 42 years. These two martial arts were the basic martial arts learned by the predecessor in the county government office, but the predecessor's qualifications were average and the cultivation time was short, so they had not yet started. Although the panel in front of him was the golden finger he had hoped for, why did his golden finger take his life to play with it? He still has a lifespan of 40.2 years, and at best, he can only live for over 60 years. In this world, he is considered short-lived. Now that the golden finger has appeared, if he doesn't play with his life, he might. Just as he hesitated, the wind blew even more life. A rustling sound. The trees around swayed violently, but it was not because of the wind that they did so. I happen to be hungry. After eating, you can go find those villagers to fill your stomachs. Under the darkness, a slender figure appeared in Ye Lingtian's field of vision. This is a man with a snake-like body, with a pale and colorless face under his long hair. His eyes are erect, his chin is inverted triangle-shaped, and his thin upper body is bare, while his lower body is covered in black scales. His hands are thin and bone visible. At this moment, the snake demon man was grinning, his fangs exposed, and he was also sticking out his forked crimson tongue. In those pair of erect pupils, there was a greedy light, greedily looking at the food that was about to be obtained. Ye Lingtian, however, was surprisingly calm. It could be said that he was only surprised when he first saw him, and the feeling of being stared at made him very uncomfortable. Golden finger, this is his only chance to survive now, but I don't know how long it will take. At present, there is no knife in hand, so it is best to choose only a tombstone opener. Without hesitation, Ye Lingtian's heart silently spoke out. Use the entire lifespan, improve, and become a pioneer. In the panel, the numbers about Shou Yuan are rapidly changing. 42. 34. 21 until the end, it stopped at 1. At the same time, the voice he was looking forward to was also ringing in his ears. You focused on practicing the monument opener, and it took you 3 years to finally understand and step into the beginner level. If you continue to practice, 5 years later you will step into the level of Xiaocheng and can easily split wood. You seem to have realized that after 13 years, you will successfully reach the level of Deshang and be able to split mountains and stones. 20 years later, you finally reached the level of perfection in the practice of Kai Bei Shou. Without any further understanding, monument opener. Perfect. In an instant, Ye Lingtian felt a surge of strength all over his body, especially with his hands shaking and breaking the rope, which was an easy task. This brought joy to Ye Lingtian's heart. However, he did not immediately take action, but instead looked at the snake demon. There's something he needs to figure out. Did you force the villagers to join forces with you and set a trap? Upon hearing this, the snake demon sneered and fell down. Since you little constable want to know, then I'll tell you. I promise they won't eat them as long as they bring in the captor. However, I'm so hungry tonight that when I finish eating you, I'll go eat them. After speaking, the snake demon's smile became fierce, twisting its body in approaching Ye Lingtian. The bloody mouth gradually opened, as if intending to swallow Ye Lingtian in one gulp. Upon seeing this, Ye Lingtian naturally stopped waiting and immediately exerted force with both hands, easily breaking the bound extension in contraction. The next moment, he jumped up and landed his palm with a loud bang. The snake demon also reacted extremely quickly. When Ye Lingtian jumped up, he had already reacted. In addition to being frightened, he quickly moved the snake and dodged to one side. With one palm falling, Ye Lingtian's mind became clearer about the technique of opening a monument, and it was a natural outcome. As soon as his figure landed, he strode forward again, wielding a palm like a knife, piercing through the air and heading straight towards the neck of the snake demon to kill. The snake demon's pupils suddenly shrank, and with this palm, he could feel that it was not something he could bear. However, there was no chance to dodge at the moment, so he could only lift the snake's tail and sweep it across. One palm and one tail collided, and a sense of hardness came from the palm of his hand. Ye Lingtian was slightly surprised, and the scales were like iron armor. With a palm drop, the snake demon was shaken back 2 steps by this force. The snake demon's eyes trembled and her face was filled with shock. This constable is completely different from the ones he had eaten before. At the corner of Ye Lingtian's mouth, a cold smile appeared. In his hand, there was already a shattered scale, which was left behind after just one palm strike. The tombstone opener was perfect, but with just one palm, it shattered the mountain rocks, and the scales of the snake demon looked nothing more than that. No, the snake demon has too many opportunities to catch his breath. Ye Lingtian has already killed him again, with extremely fast speed and his palms like knives. This time, he will definitely kill the snake demon. Upon seeing Ye Lingtian kill again, the snake demon immediately lifted its thick snake tail and swept towards it with tremendous power. Ye Lingtian didn't have any intention of dodging. The snake's tail swept across and he saw him strike hard with one hand. Kai Bei Shou, perfect. Puzzy. One palm was like a sharp blade, effortlessly splitting open the hard scales of the snake's tail, splattering flesh and blood. Pain came, and the snake demon fiercely retracted its tail and immediately fled towards the forest in a disheveled manner. He fiercely shook off the flesh and blood on his hand, and Ye Lingtian chased after him with lightning speed. The snake demon's tail has broken, and its speed has been greatly reduced. Before long, Ye Lingtian had already caught up with the snake demon. In the fear of the snake demon, he jumped up and swung his palm like a knife, chopping it down again. Accompanied by a mournful cry, blood splattered, and the snake demon fell to the ground in response. In an instant, the snake demon transformed into a black python, with a deep wound 3 inches below its head. Ye Lingtian stood aside, calmly wiping the blood from his hands, with a glint in his eyes. Although it was his first time killing demons, he couldn't feel any fear and seemed to have become accustomed to it. Chapter 2. Thank you, Mr. Zhao, for your appreciation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kill the snake demon that has not yet entered the initial realm, and obtain a lifespan of 38 years, demon lifespan. 38 years, demon lifespan can be directly used to enhance martial arts, but cannot be converted into their own lifespan. Looking at the information on the panel, Ye Lingtian has no intention of roast. In a year's time, I'm afraid we can only continue to hunt down demons. This is the only chance to survive. After glancing at the body of the python and pondering for a moment, Ye Lingtian decided to carry it back to Wohu village. Only by letting the villagers know that the snake demon had died can they live with peace of mind. Although the python is heavy, for today's Ye Lingtian, lifting it up is completely an easy task. In less than an hour, he had already returned to the familiar Wohu village. And his appearance directly caused a sensation among the villagers. The old village chief, full of guilt, pulled Ye Lingtian aside and said, "Sir, we are also forced to deal with the snake demon. If we don't do this, I'm afraid the snake demon will really eat the villagers." Ye Lingtian smiled nonchalantly, not being a petty-minded person, and there was no intention of blaming him. The village chief laughed and just asked someone to go to the county government to report on the situation here. Also, does the village chief have any extra food at home? If not, why not stew the snake meat directly? Upon hearing this, the old village chief was so scared that he almost lost his soul. When he regained his senses, he quickly waved his hand and said, "No. No. We are just ordinary people, and we dare not eat the meat of this snake demon. I will arrange for someone to go to the county government office. As for food, the village only has simple meals, and adults won't mind. Nature won't mind." After speaking, Ye Lingtian reluctantly glanced at the body of the snake demon. It was a pity not to eat the snake meat. Subsequently, Ye Lingtian followed the old village chief to his home, and the old village chief was also very enthusiastic and generous, bringing various types of food one after another. Ye Lingtian didn't hesitate and just wolfed it down. The village gradually quieted down until late at night, when the people from the county government finally arrived. The bearded man led by Ye Lingtian is no stranger, and it is Zhao Yunhai, the former chief constable of the county government, in his memory. Behind him are 6 or 7 constables. They have seen the body of the snake demon at the entrance of the village, and with the explanation from the villagers, Zhao Yunhai also knows the rough idea of what happened. However, he did not expect that Ye Lingtian was just a constable in the yamen who was used to make up for money, and he could still have such skills. Upon seeing Zhao Yunhai arrive, Ye Lingtian, who had eaten and drunk enough, immediately stood up and stepped forward. Ye Lingtian has seen General Zhao. Zhao Yunhai nodded and stared at Ye Lingtian with sharp eyes for a moment before finally retracting his gaze. He directly asked, "How did you kill that snake demon?" He has seen the wound of the snake demon, and the snake tail is broken, appearing to be caused by external forces. Ye Lingtian had already figured out the wording, so he directly replied, "Report to General Zhao, I just found an opportunity and used the marker to kill him." Monument opener. Not only did Zhao Yunhai feel surprised, but the other constables also did the same. Kaibieshu is just a basic martial arts skill among the county government constables. Ordinary constables have been practicing for several years, but they may only be beginners. They are good at dealing with demons, but when it comes to being able to kill demons, it is impossible for a few people to work together. Zhao Yunhai squinted his eyes, and suddenly a burst of energy erupted in his eyes. With a fierce palm strike, his momentum was so strong that it was even approaching Ye Lingtian's face. Upon seeing this, Ye Lingtian calmly slapped him. 2 palms collided, and a muffled sound came. Ye Lingtian's figure took 2 steps back, but his face remained calm as usual. Zhao Yunhai also stopped and no longer had any intention of taking action, with a satisfied smile on his face. "Not bad. How come I didn't realize your kid had such strength before?" Killing the snake demon is meritorious, and this matter will be recorded. Let's go back first. Yes. Captain Zhao. The next morning, in the county government office classroom, Ye Lingtian finally received a generous reward of 30 taels of silver, personally sent by Zhao Yunhai to slay the snake demon. Zhao Yunhai did not leave. Instead, he pulled a chair and sat down in the classroom, carefully looking at Ye Lingtian. Lingtian, I am not interested in why your child is so powerful overnight, he said, but I'm very optimistic about you. There's something I happen to talk to you about. Ye Lingtian had just put silver into his sleeve when he heard the chief constable's words. He couldn't help but feel a bit interested and said, General Zhao, what's going on? Recently, the demons in the southern region have been rampant, and the court has attached great importance to it. Therefore, they have sent people from the Demon Control Bureau to secretly come, one of which is to eradicate the demons, but there is also an intention to recruit talents for the Demon Control Bureau. Ye Lingtian was slightly taken aback. The appearance of the demon-suppressing officer was not recorded in his predecessor's memory, which made his interest even stronger. Before he could ask, Zhao Yunhai let out a sigh, with a deep expression of sorrow on his face. He then said helplessly, the Demon Control Bureau is the existence of a demon hunter in the Eastern Qin dynasty, belonging to outside the 6 departments. And all the martial arts of the Eastern Qin dynasty are gathered inside the Demon Control Bureau. If I were in my 20s, perhaps I would have had the opportunity to join the Demon Control Bureau. Upon hearing this, Ye Lingtian's eyes flickered with light, and he knew the meaning of Zhao Yunhai. Is it the Demon Suppression Department? This is not exactly the existence he needs. Not only can he hunt down demons, but he also has access to many martial arts. Mr. Zhao wants me to join the Demon Suppression Bureau. Of course, when I probed you last night, I already noticed that your marker had probably reached a perfect level, and you didn't use all your strength with that palm. I have been practicing as a tombstone opener for over a decade, only to barely reach the level of perfection, but surprisingly. Zhao Yunhai hesitated to speak, perhaps feeling a bit embarrassed, so he decided not to continue the topic. It's a pity that you have such talent to stay in Linen City. The Demon Control Bureau is your best choice, he said. Ye Lingtian suddenly stood up and bowed gratefully to Zhao Yunhai, thank you very much for General Zhao's appreciation. You're welcome, I'm not sure if I'll need your help again in the future. Zhao Yunhai waved his hand, his eyes filled with envy, and he said, my bone has developed many problems when I was young. If you are really interested in the Demon Control Bureau, there is a reward mission in the Yamen to hunt and kill demons. You can give it a try. The qualification of the Demon Suppression Department is obtained through one's own efforts, rather than relying on entering through the back door, which is not feasible. In the future, you and I can call each other brothers. If you look up to it, just call me Brother Zhao. You don't need to come for today's street patrol, you also need to rest well. After finishing these words, Zhao Yunhai stood up and left. Looking at the departing figure, Ye Lingtian only felt that Zhao Yunhai had undergone a lot of vicissitudes at this moment. However, for him, Zhao Yunhai gave him a good impression. Even if you want to join the Demon Control Bureau, you always have to stay in Linen City for some time. Accept the bounty mission and continue to slay the demons. The corner of Ye Lingtian's mouth couldn't help but curl up, which was exactly what he wanted. However, now that the lifespan of demons is only 38 years, I wonder if the demon hunting knife technique can reach a perfect level. Chapter 3. This kid is too reckless. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After thinking for a moment, Ye Lingtian decided to practice the demon hunting sword technique. With an additional set of sword techniques, even if it is not at a perfect level, it can still be of great use. With more skills, it won't burden the body. Your talent is outstanding, and in 5 years you will have some understanding of the demon hunting knife technique, reaching the entry-level, you suddenly have an epiphany, continue practicing, and after 6 years, reach the level of Xiaocheng, you continued to study and practice hard in seclusion until 20 years later, when you finally reached the pinnacle of your swordsmanship, remaining demonic lifespan. 7 years, sure enough, one can only practice to the level of great achievement. But for Ye Lingtian, this result is already very satisfying. Now with the sword technique in his body, Ye Lingtian naturally won't continue to rest. He needs to hunt more demons as soon as possible. Due to his sword being destroyed by the snake demon last night, shortly after Zhao Yunhai left, someone brought a new knife with a heavy body that felt quite impressive when held in his hand. Entering the courtyard, Ye Lingtian held a knife in his right hand and tried to wave it a few times. The strong wind howled and the knife tore open the void. At this moment, he is more like a master of swordsmanship, proficient in his techniques. After adapting to using the knife, Ye Lingtian left the classroom directly and went to the place where the reward task was announced by the county government. At this moment, Zhao Yunhai was sitting in the courtyard, supervising the training of several constables in front of him. Until now, a constable came to him in a panic and whispered a few words in his ear. Zhao Yunhai's face changed for a moment, and a surprised expression appeared in his eyes. He looked at the constable in surprise and said, "Are you telling the truth?" As soon as Ye Lingtian received his sword, he went to take the mission and even took on 3 bounty missions in one go. Zhao Yunhai's voice also caught the attention of other constables. After hearing the words of the constable, they couldn't help but show surprise on their faces. Even Zhao Yunhai's face was not good looking, and he took on 3 tasks at the same time, even though he was the chief constable, he dared not. This kid is too reckless. At the foot of Qingyun Mountain outside the city of Linan County, Ye Lingtian had already arrived here, glanced at the bounty in his hand, and then headed straight towards the mountain. There is a rat demon on Qingyun Mountain, which has plagued surrounding creatures for many years. Even on the mountain, a temple was built for him to worship. However, this rat demon is quite cunning, and the county officials lack it, so this rat demon has not been eradicated yet. Qingyun Mountain Rat Demon, bounty of 50 taels of silver. The trees on the mountaintop are dense, and the sunlight has been blocked a lot, occasionally bringing a cool feeling. Ye Lingtian finally arrived at the mountaintop and saw the temple built, the Rat God Temple. Among the incense burners in front of the temple, there were only a few scattered residual candles. The temple was not large, and from outside, one could already see the statue of the rat demon carved in stone. Short stature, with a mouse head and a human body, the physique looks somewhat obese, much larger than the average person. A rat demon who still wants to enjoy incense offerings, is this really treating oneself as a god? Ye Lingtian sneered and immediately headed towards the temple. As for how to kill the rat demon, Ye Lingtian has already figured out a way. Arriving at the temple and looking up at the temple plaque, Ye Lingtian immediately leaped up with great force and effortlessly removed the plaque in an instant. Then, he smashed it with his palm in front of the mouse demon statue. The temple remains quiet. After throwing away the fragments in his hand, Ye Lingtian stepped directly into the temple and looked at the statue of the rat demon. "Are you really worthy of enjoying the incense offering?" he said. The long sword unsheathed and struck the statue's belly with a single blow, causing countless cracks to spread throughout the entire statue with immense force. "Where the hell did you come from? How dare you destroy this statue?" Just as the statue shattered and collapsed, a voice filled with anger sounded. Immediately after, a small figure rose from the rubble, looking no different from the statue, with red eyes and a raging body. When the statue collapsed, Ye Lingtian had already withdrawn from the temple, and he had already noticed the hidden demonic aura in the temple. Seeing the appearance of the rat demon, Ye Lingtian felt as if he had seen prey, and a cold smile curved around his mouth. The chubby mouse demon was originally furious, but when he felt the gaze from Ye Lingtian, he inexplicably shuddered. Before the rat demon could speak again, Ye Lingtian's figure rushed out like a ghost. Silver light falls and cuts through the void. The mouse demon actually fled in fear without any intention of taking action. After losing his sword, Ye Lingtian immediately chased after him, and in terms of speed, he didn't fall a single penny off this rat demon. Kid, I'm just eating incense, but I haven't harmed anyone. You have never eaten humans, and there is no mistake in incense, but the livestock in the surrounding villages have almost been eaten clean by you. Shouldn't you kill them? Kid, you're bullying demons too much. The incompetent roar of the rat demon, at this moment, it knows well that it is not an opponent, and how dare it fight back. Although the mouse demon in front of me was short and chubby, its speed of escape was not sluggish. If it weren't for Ye Lingtian's cultivation, I'm afraid this mouse demon would have already fled. For Ye Lingtian, the rat demon is undoubtedly doomed to die, but it's just a waste of some time. Half an hour later, at the foot of Qingyun Mountain, Ye Lingtian finally killed the rat demon with a single sword. Kill the mouse demon that has not yet entered the initial realm and obtain a lifespan of 52 years, demon lifespan. 59 years, Ye Lingtian wiped the blood off his sword and then chose to continue practicing the demon hunting blade technique. You suddenly realized and continued to practice the demon hunting blade technique. After 5 years, you came to a standstill, but you still didn't give up. You continued to practice and finally reached the perfect level of blade technique after 30.5 years. Remaining demonic lifespan. 19 years, it took 40 years to fully comprehend the level of perfection. Ye Lingtian regained his senses and glanced at the corpse of the rat demon, offering a reward of silver. He didn't care. So, Ye Lingtian left directly and went to the location of the demon on the bounty mission. There is a water demon in Shanha village, who calls himself the water god. Every month, the villagers need to offer a pair of boys and girls to worship. Otherwise, he will flood the village and eat all the people in the village. Ye Lingtian is not water sensitive, but he has a way to bring this water demon ashore. Half a day had passed, and Ye Lingtian had already returned to Linen City with full harvest. All 3 demons had been killed by him. Remaining demonic lifespan. 82 years, as soon as he returned to the classroom, Ye Lingtian had already discovered a familiar figure waiting, which was Zhao Yunhai. Upon seeing his return, Zhao Yunhai looked up and couldn't see any joy or anger on his face. I saw that he quickly furrowed his brow slightly, and he had already felt the strong bloody smell from Ye Lingtian's body. 3-headed demons, solved so quickly. Ye Lingtian nodded calmly and said, "It just took a lot of rush time. Otherwise, we should be able to come back earlier." Upon hearing this, Zhao Yunhai couldn't help but twitch at the corner of his mouth. It was a demon, and he, as the chief constable, had to put in a lot of effort to kill a demon. But this kid is better off. The people of Shanha village all came to the county government and said they were grateful that you had killed the water demon. They specially brought silver to thank you. I have also sent someone to investigate the other 2 places, and there will be results soon. Chapter 4. Centennial Tiger Demon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhao Yunhai looked at the results of the verification in his hand and was mentally prepared, but when he received a definite answer, he couldn't help but be deeply shocked. The 3-headed demons, even if he takes action, cannot be completely solved in half a day. Thinking of this, Zhao Yunhai looked at the figure sitting quietly in front of him with a strange gaze, somewhat doubting whether the person in front of him was the same Ye Lingtian he had known before. After a long time, he finally put down the result of the verification in his hand and let out a light sigh. "Even I have to admire your abilities. This time, you should be able to earn hundreds of taels of silver." For silver, Ye Lingtian is not very interested, as long as it is sufficient. As for the remaining silver, he had already planned. "Brother Zhao, I want to exchange silver for martial arts. Is that feasible? Keep the silver for yourself, even if you really join the Demon Control Bureau in the future, you will inevitably need it." Zhao Yunhai took out a prepared martial arts piece from his sleeve and placed it on the table. He lightly tapped on the martial arts piece with his finger, and his expression became serious. This martial arts piece is called Stepping on the Clouds, which is a lightness martial arts piece that I gave you. This martial arts is something I inherited from my master, don't let me lose it. Ye Lingtian was quite tempted. Currently, the most lacking martial arts in his martial arts were lightness skills. Now, Zhao Yunhai even took the initiative to come to his door and said, "Brother Zhao, why don't I give you all the silver I have, which can be considered as the cost of learning this martial arts? Come on. Keep the silver for yourself, remember to owe me a favor." Zhao Yunhai stood up nonchalantly and smiled heartily. "If you feel it's not suitable, please invite me to the 8 Immortals Tower to have a meal." Ling Tian, thank you very much for Brother Zhao's kindness. See you at the 8 Immortals Tower then. Ye Lingtian stood up with a smile on his face, grateful. Upon hearing these words, Zhao Yunhai was slightly stunned, as if he had never expected Ye Lingtian to agree, wave his hand, and then leave. The door closed, and Ye Lingtian couldn't wait to pick up Stepping on the Clouds, and read it carefully. Upgrade, Step on the Clouds. Quickly open the martial arts and read the content in the book. You are focused on studying the Step on the Clouds, occasionally bumping and taking 10 years to reach the level of small success. Continuing to practice, suddenly blocked and stagnant, forcing you to pause and search for the problem, until 13 years later when you looked up at the white clouds in the sky, suddenly realized, broke through the barrier, made rapid progress, and reached the level of great achievement, practice without hindrance, with smooth sailing and occasional stuttering, but you can easily resolve it. It takes 21 years and is a great achievement. Remaining demonic lifespan. 43 years, his Ye Lingtian couldn't help but take a deep breath. It took him 44 years to take this step on the clouds, which is clearly not comparable to martial arts like Kaibiashu. Putting down his martial arts skills, Ye Lingtian immediately chose to take a step on the clouds in this room. His footsteps were as light as clouds and as gentle as the wind. In the blink of an eye, he had already surrounded the room and turned back and forth dozens of times. Among them, luck is clever, walking several miles without fatigue, and its speed is unmatched by demons. Ye Lingtian muttered to himself, with an indescribable excitement and joy. County government, in the lobby of the back hall. County Magistrate Lu Buiyuan, dressed in an official robe, sat on a chair beside the table and looked up at Zhao Yunhai. "Are you saying that Ye Lingtian can enter the Demon Suppression Bureau?" Zhao Yunhai showed great respect and lowered his head, making a confident sound. Although young, he has exceptional talent and strength, and it will be a matter of time before he joins the Demon Suppression Department. Upon hearing this, Lu Buiyuan let out a disdainful light smile. However, at this moment, anger gradually emerged on his capricious face. "Do you know how much trouble this kid has caused for Linen City? He shouldn't have gone to kill the rat demon on Qingyun Mountain." Upon hearing this, Zhao Yunhai looked up somewhat puzzled and said, "Sir, what do you mean by that? The backing mountain behind that rat demon has a lot of origins. It is the only demon in Linen City that has entered the early stage and later stage. With our county government's manpower, it cannot be stopped. And that rat demon is his only disciple, otherwise, why would you really think that demons could build temples and enjoy incense offerings?" Upon hearing these words, Zhao Yunhai's face immediately turned extremely ugly, which completely surprised him. He was never aware of this matter. "Sir, why did you know about this?" I saw Lu Buiyuan cast a cold gaze and immediately let out a cold snort of displeasure. "Mr. Zhao, you are an old man from the Yamen. Don't ask about things that shouldn't be asked. You just need to know that I am thinking for all the people in Linen City, otherwise the tiger demon will be angry, and these people in Linen City will be implicated." Without giving Zhao Yunhai a chance to speak up, Lu Buiyuan had already said again, "Tomorrow afternoon, let Ye Lingtian go to Huda Mountain. The rest has nothing to do with you. I will personally do good. Remember, I do this for the sake of the tens of thousands of people in the city." In the end, Zhao Yunhai withdrew from the hall with a complex expression. He had deeply memorized the words of the county magistrate, and he was not a fool. Naturally, he knew why the county magistrate did so. However, he never expected that the rat demon was actually a disciple of the tiger demon. If he knew, he would never let Ye Lingtian go. But now, how should he tell Ye Lingtian about this matter? If not mentioned, it is likely that the entire people of Linen City will be implicated. Sigh. How could Ye Lingtian be so unlucky? Linen City is subject to a curfew, and under the darkness, the entire city of Linen seems to be in a deep sleep. The Eight Immortals Tower is the most famous restaurant in Linen City. The singer in the building is the most famous, and the consumption here is naturally not affordable for ordinary people. Second floor, elegant room. Ye Lingtian was also the first to come to such a magnificent place. Behind the screen, a singer played music, and there was a feast of delicious food on the Eight Immortals table. This time alone, it cost Ye Lingtian 30 taels of silver. As the wine glass fell off the table, Ye Lingtian looked at Zhao Yunhai, who had been worried since he entered, and directly asked, "Brother Zhao, what kind of trouble did you encounter?" Zhao Yunhai's thoughts turned back and he couldn't show any interest in the food and drinks on the table. Then, he turned his head and impatiently said to the singer behind the screen, "Stop playing, you go out." It wasn't until the singer left the room that Zhao Yunhai looked at Ye Lingtian. With a complex expression, he hesitated to speak and struggled for a while before finally speaking out one by one about the tiger demon. "Lingtian, I never expected that the backing mountain behind this rat demon would be the century-old tiger demon from Huda Mountain. I've been thinking for a long time, and it's better for you to leave Linen City. The tiger demon is afraid of the Demon Control Bureau, so I'm sure he wouldn't dare to act too recklessly." This is the solution that Zhao Yunhai came up with. After all, Ye Lingtian is a talented person, and he really can't bear to let Ye Lingtian go and die. If you join the Demon Control Department, then the Tiger Demon will not dare to do anything to you. Chapter 5. Surprisingly dares to kill this constellation alone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is it a tiger demon in the later stage of the initial realm? After hearing this, Ye Lingtian did not show any concern. On the contrary, a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, which was exactly what he wanted now. However, Zhao Yunhai also deeply moved him, and this chief constable can be said to be meticulous towards him. "Brother Zhao, if I leave, what should the people of Linen City do? And what should you do?" Upon hearing this, Zhao Yunhai couldn't help but be taken aback. This question made him hesitant to think about it. Once the tiger demon arrives in Linen City, tens of thousands of people in the city are likely to be eaten by the tiger demon. Ye Lingtian picked up the wine jug with both hands and took the initiative to fill Zhao Yunhai's glass with wine. "I understand Brother Zhao's kindness. But why is Brother Zhao so certain that if I go up Tiger Head Mountain, I will definitely die? Why wouldn't it be that tiger demon who died?" After hearing these words, Zhao Yunhai looked at Ye Lingtian in horror and said, "What are you saying? Brother Zhao, do you believe me?" Upon hearing this, Zhao Yunhai couldn't help but be stunned. In his eyes, it was nothing more than a crazy idea. You should know that the tiger demon has been practicing for 100 years, and is only one step away from condensing the demon pill. No one can stop such a powerful demon within the territory of Linen City. All along, if it weren't for this tiger demon's concern about causing a big trouble and alerting the Demon Control Bureau, otherwise the population in Linen City would probably have already decreased by half. But right now, Ye Lingtian actually said he wanted to kill the tiger demon. Is this possible? Lingtian, I know you have good talent and strength, but this tiger demon is different from the ordinary demons you kill during the day. You cannot kill him. Upon hearing this, Ye Lingtian smiled confidently and killed the tiger demon. He was already determined to win. "Brother Zhao, do you believe me?" Ye Lingtian asked again, his eyes full of confidence and seriousness. When feeling the confidence contained in Ye Lingtian's gaze, Zhao Yunhai couldn't help but remain silent. Perhaps Ye Lingnai has that kind of ability. It wasn't until a while later that Zhao Yunhai finally exhaled a foul breath. As if he had made a decision, he immediately picked up his glass and drank the strong liquor in one gulp. It's okay. You're not afraid of death, what else am I afraid of? Tomorrow, I'll go with you to Mount Hudu. Thank you very much, Brother Zhao. That night, the two of them drank until late at night before leaving the Eight Immortals Tower. Zhao Yunhai was finally as drunk as mud, and with the help of Ye Lingtian, he returned home in a disheveled state. Ye Lingtian is not unfamiliar with the location of Huda Mountain. He wouldn't be foolish enough to wait until tomorrow noon before taking action. It was already late at night, and even a tiger demon would feel tired. So he returned to the classroom, put on his knife, changed into a black robe, and then left the classroom. Although it was a curfew, everyone already knew Ye Lingtian, a rising constable. The soldiers and constables who came and went only briefly asked, thinking that Ye Lingtian had a mission in the yamen, they let him leave. Ye Lingtian, who had the ability to step on the clouds, did not spend much time reaching the foot of Huda Mountain. He had read records related to Huda Mountain, which was originally a place where bandits lived. Later, due to the appearance of demons, the mountain stronghold was occupied, and these bandits did not know where they had gone. From then on, the mountain fortress became a haunted place for demons and demons. And there is only one way up the mountain. Ye Lingtian's feet were silent, and in the blink of an eye, he had already arrived outside the mountain fortress. Shanzhai is a wooden fortress wall, surrounded by many traces of demons, but these demons are all lazy and lacking in spirit. These demons are just newly enlightened ones, and can only land on their limbs like their true selves. Faced with these demons, Ye Lingtian naturally won't show mercy. With the flickering blade light and the use of the cloud stepping technique, all the demons guarding the gate have been slain, and their bodies have been silently laid to the ground by Ye Lingtian. Leaping several meters high, Ye Lingtian's figure landed steadily on the wall of the fortress. Then, his gaze swept around. There are not many demons in the mountain stronghold. Apart from the ones he dealt with who guarded the gate, it seems that only a few other demons can be seen inside the stronghold. We still need to catch a living creature and ask where the tiger demon is. In an instant, Ye Lingtian's figure was like a ghost, wandering through the mountain fortress. When encountering demons, he directly killed them. Kill the uninhabited snake demon and obtain a lifespan of 3 years. These demons have not yet entered the country, and the lifespan they can obtain is also pitiful. Finally, in the mouth of the last pig demon, Ye Lingtian knew where the tiger demon was located. Shanzhai, inside the hall. The candles were brightly lit all around, and in the center of the hall, a large pot stood on top of the fire, and what was cooking in the pot was a human limb and severed arm. On the front seat of its hall, the tiger demon with a tiger head and human body was lazily lying on a chair, soundly asleep, with residual flesh and blood marks on the corners of its mouth. The patterns on the tiger demon's body are black and white, and its size is much larger than that of ordinary demons. Although it is in deep sleep, the demonic aura emanating from its body is still astonishing. Ye Lingtian quietly entered the hall, and at the moment he saw the tiger demon, he inexplicably felt a surge of pressure. This tiger demon is really different from the demon he faced before. The strength of the tiger demon is obviously much stronger. With his 5 fingers tightly clasped against the handle of the sword, Ye Lingtian held his breath and took cloud steps. His figure instantly disappeared to the spot. In the next moment, he had arrived in front of the tiger demon, leaping up, and the knife in his hand fell into the air. Suddenly, the tiger demon opened its eyes fiercely. When it saw the figure falling from the sky, the shock in its eyes disappeared in an instant. It immediately stood up and dodged. A knife fell and the chair instantly turned into ruins. Without any hesitation, Ye Lingtian's blade turned sideways and once again attacked the tiger demon. The tiger demon, who had just landed, although had some reaction at this moment, was already too late. The blade cut through the skin, causing him to grit his teeth and take 2 steps back in pain. It was not until then that he could see clearly what the person who killed him looked like. At the same time, he also noticed the residual bloody smell from the young man in front of him, and immediately realized something, igniting anger in his eyes. "Are you Ye Lingtian, who killed my disciple? How audacious! How dare you come alone to kill me? The people who came to Anqing really thought I was too easy to bully. Tonight, I will surely devour you alive. Tomorrow, I will go to the city of Linen, eat everyone clean, and help me gather the demon pill. Even if the people from the Demon Control Bureau come, I will not be afraid." I saw the tiger demon confidently licking its lips, with sharp claws like blades, shining cold under the candlelight. Subsequently, the tiger demon rushed towards Ye Lingtian. Ye Lingtian had a chill on his face, especially when he noticed the visible broken limbs in the pot. A wave of anger erupted in his heart. At the moment when the tiger demon pounced, he also grabbed his sword and killed it instantly. The sword and claws collided, producing dazzling sparks from friction, and the power possessed by this tiger demon was also surprisingly great. For a moment, one person and one demon fought equally in the hall. The tiger demon's attack is rapid, and its claws are like divine weapons. Even if the knife in Ye Lingtian's hand falls with all its strength, it cannot harm him at all. Chapter 6. Chief Constable, something big happened. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the blink of an eye, the two sides had already engaged in hundreds of rounds of confrontation. And the deafening roar of the tiger fell, and the tiger demon pounced again, with its claws shining even colder. Ye Lingtian's eyes froze, his steps were like shadows, and his figure instantly disappeared into place. The tiger demon suddenly pounced into the air, with surprise appearing in his eyes. At the same time, a chill inexplicably rose in his heart. Before he could react, a figure suddenly appeared behind him. It was evident that the long sword in the opponent's hand turned into a silver glow and fell. Blood splattered and fell with a scream. I saw a long wound on the back of the tiger demon, with its skin and flesh separated and its bones clearly visible. "Stinky kid, I'm going to kill you." The tiger demon endured the excruciating pain and let out another angry roar, but this roar was mixed with trembling. Without giving the tiger demon a mobile phone, Ye Lingtian once again took a step on the clouds. In an instant, he came to the tiger demon's body and, in his surprise, slashed it out again. The tiger's head, full of shock, rolled down to the ground. And the long sword in Ye Lingtian's hand already had many notches and marks. Ye Lingtian was panting heavily, and the last few moves were completed in one go. He dared not make any mistakes before finally killing the tiger demon. Killing the tiger demon took him a lot of effort, and he could only win by relying on his speed advantage. With his strength, he is no match at all. Kill the tiger demon in the early stage and obtain a demon lifespan of 96 years, remaining demonic lifespan 157 years, undoubtedly, he is a demon in the later stage of the initial realm, and this time his lifespan is several times that of other demons. After exhaling a foul breath, Ye Lingtian kicked the headless body of the tiger demon and vented his anger before finally coming to the pot. With a helpless sigh, Ye Lingtian shook his head. "Don't blame me for coming too late, I can also be considered as avenging you." After solving the tiger demon, Ye Lingtian chose to search in the mountain fortress. After a search, the result naturally did not disappoint him. There are naturally many gold and silver treasures in the mountain fortress, and what surprised Ye Lingtian the most was that he found a knife. This knife looks obviously extraordinary, with a black body that gives it a sense of weight when held in hand. Grasping the black knife at an angle and swinging it into the air, there were bursts of whistling sounds breaking through the air. This made Ye Lingtian's eyes light up, and at the same time, he was also grateful that the tiger demon did not use this knife. Otherwise, he really wouldn't have had a chance to kill the tiger demon. Slaying the tiger demon involves both opportunism and luck. However, based on his current strength, he should have already entered the middle stage of the initial stage. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had such a hard time slaying a tiger demon from the later stage of the initial realm. The next morning, Zhao Yunhai, who was still in a daze, was directly awakened by the noisy knocking on the door. This made his anger multiply, and he immediately stood up with a drunkenness that had not yet fully awakened, and angrily opened the door. Knock what knock? At the entrance was a constable from the yamen, with an uncontrollable excitement on his face. Chief Constable, something big is happening. The tiger demon of Tiger Head Mountain has been killed. Zhao Yunhai was about to curse when he suddenly froze. Then, his drunkenness dissipated completely, and he grabbed the collar of the constable in front of him in disbelief. He exclaimed in surprise, "Say it to me again." The tiger demon from Huda Mountain has been killed and has now been sent to Linen City. The people in the city have already gone to cheer and celebrate. Zhao Yunhai finally confirmed the constable in front of him and did not lie, but how could this be? That's a tiger demon, a presence in the later stages of the initial realm. No. Did the Demon Control Bureau take action? Upon hearing this, the constable quickly explained, "Chief Constable, he is not from the Demon Control Bureau, but the constable Ye Lingtian." At this moment, Zhao Yunhai was like a thunderbolt covering the top, and he was so frightened that he took 2 steps back and almost fell to the ground. His face turned green and red, which kept Zhao Yunhai from coming to his senses for half a day. A few hours ago, the two of them were drinking and chatting, and after only sleeping for a few hours, the other party killed the tiger demon. Zhao Yunhai, who gradually regained his senses, quickly looked at the constable and asked urgently, "Where is Ye Lingtian now?" South Street. 2 carriages have just entered the city dragging the body of the tiger demon. Hurry up. Let's go take a look together. Meanwhile, in the lobby of the county government office, Lu Buiyuan's expression appeared extremely unnatural, and he had already received the news of the tiger demon being killed. Originally, he intended to send out Ye Lingtian to ensure the peace of all the people in Linen City, but he didn't expect such a thing to happen now. The tiger demon was actually killed. Now that Ye Lingtian has returned from slaying the tiger demon, he will definitely be known by the Demon Control Bureau, and his county magistrate is no different from offending Ye Lingtian, a promising adult with a bright future. Sigh. I didn't expect things to end up like this. I'm afraid the county magistrate has also come to an end. At this moment, the master with sharp-tongued monkey cheeks stood up and immediately said, "Actually, adults don't need to worry so much. After all, Ye Lingtian is also the county government constable. The adult's approach is for the sake of the people in the city. Ye Lingtian only needs to give more benefits." Upon hearing this, Lu Buiyuan thought carefully and his expression suddenly changed. He nodded and felt that what the master said was reasonable. As he was about to speak, Lu Buiyuan seemed to notice something and quickly looked out of the lobby. I saw a handsome young man walking step by step towards the lobby. This person is wearing a gorgeous brocade robe, with a silver token hanging around his waist. At this moment, the other person's face was filled with a smile. When Lu Buiyuan saw the token, he felt like sitting on pins and needles, and suddenly stood up to salute. "Officer Lu Buiyuan, I have met your excellency." Although the Demon Suppression Department does not belong to the category of the 3 departments and 6 departments, its silver token still far exceeds the official position of the county magistrate. However, when did such a great figure come to Linen City? As the county magistrate, he was completely unaware. Lu Buiyuan, colluding with demons and using their hands to eradicate bandits from the Huda Mountain Fortress, these methods are really ruthless. There are hundreds of humans who died at the hands of the tiger demon, all thanks to you. Do you know the sin of not reporting your feelings, and even colluding with the tiger demon for money? Upon hearing this, Lu Buiyuan was already sweating profusely and was so frightened that he knelt down on the ground. I understand my guilt. As for the master on the side, he had already fainted from fear. Kneeling in front of me is useless. Wait for the people from the Ministry of Justice to come, kneel slowly on your own. I need you to hand over all of Ye Lingtian's files now. Upon hearing this, Lu Buiyuan dared not refuse and repeatedly agreed. In the city, on the streets of South Street. On both sides of the street, countless people have already gathered to celebrate and watch. At this moment, on the street, there were two horses pulling a huge tiger corpse, which had already lost its head. And Ye Lingtian was riding on one of the horses, with fatigue still on his face and a black knife on his waist. These two horses were found by him in the mountain fortress and happened to be used to carry the corpse of the tiger demon down the mountain. However, there was nowhere to put the relatively large tiger head, and Ye Lingtian could only wait until he had advanced to the city before sending someone to retrieve it. Chapter 7. But are you such a genius? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suddenly, Ye Lingtian felt a sharp gaze fall on him. This gaze gave him a very special feeling, as if he had been targeted by some kind of beast. So, Ye Lingtian immediately looked in the direction of his gaze. In the crowd, a dwarf man caught his attention. This person's appearance can be described as ugly, which is annoying and won't be taken seriously. But the gaze that burst out from his eyes told Ye Lingtian that this person was not like his appearance, and he needed to pay more attention. And the dwarf man seemed to know that Ye Lingtian was watching him, grinning brightly. Ye Lingtian's eyebrows furrowed slightly, wondering if this man was an enemy or a friend. The hustle and bustle gradually faded away, and when they arrived at the county government, the figures of those people also gradually disappeared. Zhao Yunhai had already led a group of constables to wait at the entrance of the yamen. When he saw the headless white tiger corpse appear, Zhao Yunhai almost collapsed and looked at the huge corpse with a shocked face. Tiger Head Mountain Tiger Demon has been harming Linen City for countless years, and now someone has finally eradicated this evil. Good kid. I really didn't misread anyone. The other constables were also excited. Finally, only Zhao Yunhai remained, while the other captors took down the body of the tiger demon and dealt with it. After waiting for everyone to leave, Zhao Yunhai's expression suddenly became solemn and he whispered, County Magistrate Lu Buiyuan has already had an accident. The County Magistrate of Linen City will be replaced. I don't have time to hold a celebration banquet for you now. The people from the Demon Control Bureau are already waiting for you in the lobby. Has the person from the Demon Control Bureau arrived? Ye Lingtian was a bit surprised. He thought the Demon Control Bureau would come in with great fanfare, but he didn't expect it to be silent. In this way, the dwarf man seen on the street must also be related to the Demon Control Bureau. Brother Zhao, I'll go first. Please invite the brothers in the yamen to drink at the 8 Immortals Tower when you have time. Ha ha ha. I'm waiting for you. Watching Ye Lingtian enter, the smile on Zhao Yunhai's face gradually disappeared and he let out a helpless sigh. After today, Ye Lingtian is destined to be different from the people in this small county town. What will happen to him, Brother Zhao? Ye Lingtian, I hope you're not that kind of snobbish person. He has seen too many people like this. Ye Lingtian had already entered the lobby, walked through the front yard, and arrived at the hall of the county government office. In the hall, there was silence. Only on the seat that originally belonged to the county magistrate sat a handsome young man. After seeing Ye Lingtian arrive, the other party smiled. Are you that Ye Lingtian? Being able to slay the tiger demon on Tiger Head Mountain, your strength is quite good. Do you know who I am? Ye Lingtian has seen adults. Ye Lingtian raised his hand and saluted. Although the members of the Demon Control Bureau were not distributed among court officials, their positions were not comparable to those of a small constable like him. Li Jingyu nodded quite satisfied, with a hint of appreciation on his face. In the moment he stood up, he was already in front of Ye Lingtian and began to scrutinize carefully. Ye Lingtian was slightly surprised and realized that the person in front of him had already surpassed his initial level of strength. My name is Li Jingyu, a silver medal from the Demon Suppression Bureau. Would you be willing to join our Demon Suppression Bureau? Upon hearing this, Ye Lingtian pondered for a moment and did not immediately provide his own answer. Instead, he asked, are there any benefits to joining the Demon Control Bureau? After hearing Ye Lingtian's words, Li Jingyu couldn't help but be taken aback, as if he didn't expect Ye Lingtian to ask this question. After a moment, he smiled first and patiently explained, there are many benefits to nature, at least better than being such a constable like you. After joining the Demon Control Bureau, there is a 1-month assessment period during which you need to kill demons to prove your worth. The Demon Control Bureau never raises idle people. If you pass the assessment, someone in the Demon Suppression Department will give you an iron medal, which means you are a member of the Demon Suppression Department. After hunting demons, you can obtain a relatively large number of merits. The higher the level of the demon hunted, the higher the merit obtained. A little merit can be exchanged for 10 taels of silver, while gold and silver cannot be exchanged for merit. As for this merit, it can be exchanged for various martial arts techniques you want, among which the martial arts level is linked to the token and realm you have. In addition, during the assessment period, you can stay here. Once promoted to a formal member, you need to leave here and register in Jinyang City. Upon hearing this, Ye Lingtian gradually nodded and gained a general understanding of the situation of the Demon Control Bureau. Jinyang City is the first city in the southern region, and he once heard Zhao Yunhai mention it. Among them, there is also one of the 4 major branches of the Demon Control Bureau. As for this assessment period, it shouldn't be difficult for him, but 1 month seems too long. After all, if one cannot become an official member of the Demon Control Department, they will not be able to access more martial arts techniques. Moreover, his original lifespan was not much. Does the assessment period have to meet 1 month? At this moment, Ye Lingtian suddenly asked. Upon hearing this, Li Jingyu smiled slightly. At this moment, he naturally saw what Ye Lingtian was thinking and patted his shoulder. Young man, don't worry. Things need to be done slowly. Of course. It doesn't have to take a month. Some talented individuals can pass the assessment and even receive a silver medal in less than a week. But are you such a genius? After speaking, Li Jingyu smiled and left with his hands down. Ye Lingtian turned around and looked at the gradually departing figure, knowing that his assessment period had already begun. A month is too long for him. Shortly after Li Jingyu left, Zhao Yunhai couldn't wait to enter from outside. Lingtian, how is the situation? I have entered the assessment period of the Demon Control Department, which is 1 month. Ye Lingtian smiled and shook his head, indicating that he had some thoughts on his next plans. It's natural to continue hunting demons. Brother Zhao, I want to know how many demons are still in Linen City and where are they all located. It's best to have a demon that is comparable to the level of a tiger demon. Upon hearing these words, Zhao Yunhai took a deep breath and couldn't help but feel a little worried. Lingtian, joining the Demon Control Bureau is important, but you also need to take care of yourself. Brother Zhao, I know. Seeing Ye Lingtian say this, Zhao Yunhai also knew it was useless to say more. He pinched his chin beard with his right hand and began to recall it seriously. Linen City is already a remote county town, surrounded by a lack of spiritual energy. The tiger demon from Huda Mountain was also seriously injured and fled here, occupying the mountain fortress to recuperate. There are really no other demons that can compare to the tiger demon, but it's not necessarily true when they leave Linen. Upon hearing Zhao Yunhai's words, Ye Lingtian immediately asked, Brother Zhao, do you know where there are powerful demons? Indeed. But it's not something you can handle. Zhao Yunhai suddenly looked around cautiously and confirmed that there was no one around before saying in a low voice, I once heard from County Magistrate Liu that the people from the Demon Control Bureau came to Linen City, but they just stopped for a while. Their true purpose in coming is to eradicate a demon in the Baiyun Mountains outside of Linen. It is said that the other party is a wild boar demon who has been practicing for 100 years. They are the only one in this area that has broken through the initial realm and condensed the existence of the demon pill. Chapter 8 is actually a good seedling. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is it a wild boar demon from Baiyun Mountain? Ye Lingtian's heart was already fully reflected on his face, to the point where he had an impulse to immediately wield his sword and kill the demon. Zhao Yunhai beside him immediately saw what Ye Lingtian was thinking and felt a cold sweat all over his body. You crazy person, do you really have any ideas about that pig demon? To be honest with you, the three-headed tiger demon may not necessarily be the opponent of the pig demon. I advise you to give up this idea. Upon hearing this, Ye Lingtian nodded to deal with it, but he did not let go of the idea of killing the pig demon in his heart. At this time, there is a remote house on North Street. Li Jingyu quietly arrived outside the door, confirming that there was no one following around before pushing the door in. There are already 4 people waiting in the lobby inside the house. A dwarf man, a burly middle-aged man, and 2 women with identical faces. Seeing Li Jingyu entering, several people gradually let down their guard. The dwarf man was exactly the person Ye Lingtian had noticed on the street before, with a bright smile and an iron token hanging from his waist. Boss, how is that person? That's a good seedling. However, it's too young. Li Jingyu casually closed the door and glanced at the few people before saying, however, it's not easy to enter the middle stage of the initial stage in this remote county town, and you can even kill that tiger demon at a lower level. Let's see how his assessment period works. If it's suitable, let him join me directly. As he sat down at the table, Li Jingyu's expression gradually became serious. The pig demon in Baiyun Mountain seems to have received news. With some precautions in place, I may not be able to kill him if he fights alone. As soon as these words were spoken, the others were deeply moved, and some people's eyes were filled with worry. Li Jingyu is the captain of their anti-demon team, and killing the pig demon is their task. If Li Jingyu cannot kill the pig demon, they may only have the power to fight together. The burly man let out a dull snort, his eyes sharp like blades. If you can't solve it alone, then let's work together. Stupid guy, you forgot again. This pig demon claims to be the White Cloud King, but there are still a few demons in the later stage of the initial realm below. Our task is to solve those guys. Otherwise, once those guys intervene, it will be difficult to kill the pig demon. The speaker was none other than the dwarf man, who now looked old and mature. The man just gave a cold glare without any intention of refuting. Zhu Cheng is right. You need to deal with other demons, otherwise I have no confidence in killing that pig demon. Time is urgent. Tomorrow morning, we will go to Baiyun Mountain and kill that pig demon. As for Ye Lingtian, that kid. Li Jingyu's words suddenly paused, followed by a solemn expression. After a moment of contemplation, he said again, tell him this news too. In the middle of the initial stage, it can be helpful to some extent. This statement directly caused a few people's astonishment. Especially Zhu Cheng's reaction was extremely strong. I said, boss, you're not joking, are you? Let a newcomer go, this is not about dying, what is it? Li Jingyu gave Zhu Cheng a fierce glare and said, even if it were you, that tiger demon might not be able to be killed, right? Upon hearing this, Zhu Cheng's expression froze and he honestly shut his mouth. As the night approached, the remaining glow in the sky was gradually consumed by darkness. In the room, Ye Lingtian had already received a message from Li Jingyu, which was about the Jinyao Si going to Baiyun Mountain tomorrow to eliminate the pig demon. Li Jingyu will let him participate, which can only explain one issue. They are not very confident in killing the pig demon. However, for Ye Lingtian, this is an opportunity. Whether it's joining the assessment of the Demon Control Department or the lifespan of the demon, they are all what he needs. He has killed the pig demon from Baiyun Mountain. At night, Ye Lingtian still invited Zhao Yunhai and several other close constables in the Yamen to celebrate at the Eight Immortals Tower, drinking until early morning. After sending Zhao Yunhai and his companions back, Ye Lingtian left Linen City alone with a black knife. The direction we are heading is naturally Baiyun Mountain. Baiyun Mountain is several tens of miles south of Linen City, but with the blessing of Ye Lingtian's step on the clouds, he had already arrived at the center of Baiyun Mountain before dawn. For Ye Lingtian, after drinking strong liquor, not only did he not feel any drunkenness, but he was also full of energy. Even Ye Lingtian didn't know if it was due to his physical condition or other reasons. It seemed that his original owner had never been drunk when it came to drinking. Under the dark night, Baiyun Mountain was incredibly quiet, not even the sound of insects in the forest could be heard. This made Ye Lingtian's vigilance deepen a bit, and he lowered his pace and slowly moved forward. According to Zhao Yunhai, the pig demon claimed to be the White Cloud King, and once built a temple for him in the mountains with the surrounding villagers, and also housed the surrounding demons as his subordinates. And the strength of the stored demons is not much different from the tiger demons he killed. As for why I came here alone, the purpose is naturally to prolong the lifespan of the demon. He cannot let the lifespan of the obtained demon fall into the hands of others. Suddenly, a figure came into view, and under the darkness, it was faintly visible that this figure was different from the human figure. It wasn't until he got closer that Ye Lingtian finally realized that he was a demon with a dog head and a human body, in the middle of the initial stage. And this dog demon is rapidly heading towards the interior of Baiyun Mountain. Suddenly, the figure of the dog demon paused, its nose sniffed in the air, and its gaze quickly turned towards the direction where Ye Lingtian was. A pair of eyes, like night pearls. At this moment, Ye Lingtian had already hidden behind a big tree, and his black sword had already unsheathed. It's truly a dog's nose. It's really amazing. Ye Lingtian's killing intent had already risen, and before the dog demon could make another move, Ye Lingtian rushed out like a fierce tiger. The dog demon immediately reacted and pulled out a white bone from somewhere, heading straight up. The black knife landed on the bone, leaving only a shallow mark, which surprised Ye Lingtian slightly. He didn't expect this bone to have such hardness. And the dog demon also erupted in power, directly pulling out Ye Lingtian Zhen in front of him. Then he grinned wildly, as if he could see everything clearly under the darkness. Where did you come from, kid? How dare you come to Baiyun Mountain and act wild? Judging from your appearance, you don't seem to be from the Demon Control Bureau. Ye Lingtian only took a few steps back before stabilizing his figure. He immediately realized that the dog demon should have known about the situation of the Demon Control Bureau, and then went into the mountain to report. Since that's the case, he naturally can't let this dog demon survive. Without an answer, his gaze was sharp like a sword, and his figure flew out like a shell. The dog demon sneered and immediately waved his bones, engaging in direct combat with Ye Lingtian. However, as Ye Lingtian's black knife repeatedly fell with the strong wind in his hand, the dog demon gradually felt a struggle. It was only at this moment that he noticed Ye Lingtian's realm. In the middle of the initial stage. Unable to help but wonder, the dog demon couldn't help but wonder that Ye Lingtian was so young that he could have such a realm. Chapter 9. Boss, something's wrong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. And the strength that Ye Lingtian will demonstrate next is even more surprising. It was evident that Ye Lingtian gathered all his strength around him and slashed it with a single blow. This knife tore through the space and fell heavily. Click. The bones shattered in response, and the dog demon was shocked and couldn't help but feel a sense of despair in his heart. Without giving the dog demon any chance to react, Ye Lingtian had already aimed a knife at its head and chopped it out. Kill the mid-stage dog demon in the initial realm and obtain a lifespan of 66 years, remaining demonic lifespan 223 years. However, Ye Lingtian looked at the black knife in his hand. With a powerful attack just now, he felt a breakthrough in his own realm. In the later stage of the initial state, the internal breath is more vigorous than before. After disposing of the body of the dog demon, Ye Lingtian raised his sword again and headed straight towards the depths of Baiyun Mountain. At this moment, in his eyes, there were only demons. In the same realm, with 3 successful martial arts, he is invincible. In the early morning, the sky just broke. Li Jingyu and others had quietly arrived in the Baiyun Mountains, but the forest was silent. Something's wrong. The dog demon should have brought back the news last night. How could it be so quiet in the mountains and forests? Not a single demon breath was seen. Li Jingyu, the leader, stopped first and looked around cautiously. The silence around him filled his heart with unease. Zhu Cheng and his companions also share this feeling that the mountains and forests where demons are located are too quiet, which is not a good thing. There shouldn't be an ambush, right? Upon hearing this, Li Jingyu immediately turned his head to look at one of the 2 women and nodded lightly. I saw one of the women quickly imprinting her hands, her eyes slightly closed, and an invisible breath spreading from her body all around. In just a moment, the woman had already opened her eyes, filled with astonishment. Boss, something's wrong. At this moment, Ye Lingtian had already arrived not far from a temple. He had already killed all the demons around him, leaving only the temple in front of him. He dared not break in rashly. Compared to him, the demon that gathers the demon pill has a significant gap in realm. He has never fought before, and if he takes action rashly, he may lose his life. The temple in front of me covers a wide area, and you can also see traces of the palace surrounded by the courtyard walls. The level of luxury in it is self-evident. On the courtyard walls of this temple, many human bones can be seen hanging. At a rough glance, there were no less than 100 corpses. Remaining demonic lifespan: 293 years. Just as Ye Lingtian didn't know how to continue his actions, he heard a commotion coming from within the temple. Not long after, 2 demons walked out. These were 2 white rat demons. These 2 rat demons are each wearing black and white robes. I think the king's worries are really unnecessary. Maybe that 3rd dog has fallen in love with a little female dog from another family. The mouse demon dressed in a white robe sneered and spoke in a sharp, female-like voice. The black-robed mouse demon on the side chuckled and said, "Forget it. No matter what the 3rd dog is doing, I haven't eaten fresh human flesh for a long time. I'll take this opportunity to go down the mountain to find something to eat. It's all the trouble caused by the Demon Control Bureau, they haven't come for a long time." Ye Lingtian, hiding behind the tree, had already shown a murderous smile, and he quietly left with the departure of the 2 rat demons. Li Jingyu and his companions have already found the body of the dog demon covered by branches. Zhu Qing squatted down and examined the wound for a while before finally standing up with a serious expression. "Boss, this dog demon's head was chopped off with a knife, and the person who did it is at least in the later stage of the initial realm. However, why does this technique look so familiar?" Upon hearing this, a figure inexplicably appeared in Li Jingyu's mind, but is it possible? Isn't it really that kid? Apart from them, there are no other people from the Demon Control Bureau around Linen City. And the only person he can think of with the strength of the initial realm is Ye Lingtian. "Boss, there are 2 demons coming." Suddenly, a woman reminded seriously. Li Jingyu immediately looked at the woman and asked directly, "But the White Cloud King?" "No. The result of the investigation is that there are demons in the later stage of the initial realm on both ends, and it seems that there is still a human aura," the woman said with some uncertainty, as the fingerprints on her hands changed once again. "Human beings. There are no living people around Baiyun Mountain. The only living people who can still appear in the mountains today may be those who have killed the dog demon. Hurry up. Go check it out." As the words fell, the figures of the few people headed straight towards the direction of the rat demon. Ye Lingtian followed behind the two rat demons for a long time, and these two rat demons kept moving forward intimately, not even realizing that they had already been followed behind. Until he completely moved away from the temple, Ye Ling was like a fierce tiger rushing out. Puzzy. Blood splattered, instantly dyeing the white robe of the rat demon red, and the rat demon wearing the white robe looked at the black knife piercing through its chest with an incredulous expression. By May. The black-robed mouse demon made a sound of fear and immediately turned around to see the owner of the black sword behind the white-robed mouse demon. Suddenly, the black-robed mouse demon's eyes were bloodshot, and he pounced directly at Ye Lingtian with a grin on his face. The black knife was drawn out and Ye Lingtian dodged in one step, while shaking off the blood stains on the black knife. The black-robed mouse demon pounced once again at Ye Lingtian like a madman. Human, I want to skin and muscle you, avenge my white sister. Ye Lingtian immediately used the demon hunting knife technique to deal with the attack of the rat demon. The sword light flickered, and the rat demon in front of him was no match at all. Every drop of a knife drives the rat demon back in a row. The anger in the eyes of the rat demon gradually turned into fear. Is this really the strength that a beginner should have in the later stages? At the same level, he was forced so hard that he couldn't fight back. Ye Lingtian suddenly held his knife in both hands and a heavy blow fell through the air. The figure of the black-robed mouse demon immediately collapsed. A deep knife mark appeared on its forehead. Kill the rat demon in the later stage of the primordial realm and obtain a lifespan of 93 years. Kill the rat demon in the later stage of the primordial realm and obtain a lifespan of 95 years, demon lifespan. 441 years, however, the rat demon in the later stage of the initial realm actually has a lifespan of nearly 100 years. If I were to slay the demon that condensed the demon pill, then the lifespan of the demon I obtain should not be less than 150 years. This made the scorching heat in Ye Lingtian's eyes deepen involuntarily. Ye Lingtian, it's really you. Suddenly, a surprised voice came. Ye Lingtian heard the sound and looked around, only to see Li Jingyu and others. At the same time, he also noticed the figure of the dwarf man. Mr. Li. Ye Lingtian was not surprised by the arrival of these few people, but rather fortunate that he had already killed those demons before their arrival. Zhu Qing couldn't help but twitch at the corners of his mouth as he looked at the corpses of two rat demons. From learning about the appearance of two rat demons to less than half a pillar of incense, Ye Lingtian surprisingly solved these two rat demons. If it were him, dealing with these two rat demons would probably require some effort. Li Jingyu had come to his senses from his surprise, and he was also greatly surprised by Ye Lingtian's true strength. I thought you wouldn't dare come, but I didn't expect you to come first. Is that pig demon still in the temple? This is where Li Jingyu is most worried. Once the pig demon is alarmed and allowed to escape, it will not be easy to find it again. Don't worry, Lord Li. I killed these demons and didn't disturb the pig demon. Chapter 10. Severely Injured Pig Demon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Jingyu immediately felt relieved and glanced at the corpses of the two rat demons again. Being able to easily kill the rat demons in the later stages of the initial realm is enough to prove Ye Lingtian's talent. This time I took a wrong look. Ling Tian, wait with them at the foot of the mountain, and I will go kill that pig demon right away. If he escapes, you must kill him. After arranging these things, Li Jingyu headed straight up the mountain. Zhu Qing suddenly relaxed and casually approached Ye Lingtian. You kid, you're really a crazy person. Ye Lingtian's gaze was directed towards the other few people, and ultimately fell on the twins. This pair of twins were born tall and graceful, with the same appearance, except for the differences in temperament emanating from their bodies. These two maids are the maids brought by the boss. In the early stage and later stage, they have strong abilities. The older sister's name is Yulian and the younger sister's name is Yuha. Yulian is proficient in tracking techniques, while Yuha is proficient in formation techniques. After Zhu Qing noticed what Ye Lingtian was looking at, he immediately explained with a smile on his face, but that smile seemed quite lewd. Ye Lingtian's eyes lit up as he now understood why the few of them had so quickly and accurately found him. It was not a coincidence, but the technique practiced by these two women. He has no interest in the formation, but this tracking technique, if I could practice the art of tracking, wouldn't it be much easier to kill demons in the future? Just as Ye Lingtian had this plan in mind, a loud noise suddenly came from the mountaintop, followed by countless birds and animals startled and fled in all directions. Seeing such a scene, Ye Lingtian knew that it must be Li Jingyu and the pig demon fighting. However, this commotion is somewhat too loud. Zhu Cheng's expression became more serious, and he glanced at Quishan. Quishan, you and Yulian are waiting at the foot of the mountain. Me and Ye Lingtian. No, I have to stay on the mountain. I can't come here for nothing, this pig demon. Before Zhu Cheng could finish speaking, Quishan's dull voice directly interrupted Zhu Cheng's words. Zhu Cheng wanted to say something more, but when he saw Quishan's firm gaze, he immediately sighed helplessly, this stubborn donkey. At this moment, Ye Lingtian calmly spoke on the side. I'll stay at the foot of the mountain with both of them, be careful. So, that's okay. Zhu Cheng sighed again. Originally, he thought that Ye Lingtian was a newcomer and obedient to the command. No matter how difficult it was to deal with him like the stubborn donkey Quishan. I didn't expect that Quishan, this stubborn donkey, still has an old habit. The sisters of Yulian are not strong in battle, although they have some accomplishments in early stage and later stage. Zhu Cheng specifically instructed Ye Lingtian. Ye Lingtian nods and then goes down the mountain with Yulian's sisters. The reason why Ye Lingtian chose to stay at the foot of the mountain is naturally due to his own plans. So, as soon as he arrived at the foot of the mountain, Ye Lingtian took the initiative to approach Yulian and politely said, Miss Yulian, I heard that you are good at tracking. After hearing this, Yulian let out a faint sigh and immediately noticed that Ye Lingtian had other intentions. Her voice was cold and she asked, just let me know if you have anything. I want to learn the art of tracking. May I know if Miss Yulian can sever her love? If there are any other conditions, Miss Yulian is welcome to propose. As long as I can do it, I will do my best. An accident flashed through Yulian's beautiful eyes, and she suddenly understood why Ye Lingtian would directly agree to come with the two of them to the foot of the mountain. Originally, it was for the tracking technique in my hand. With a light smile, Yulian fell without any anger, but instead a deep mockery appeared in her eyes. This tracking technique is not something belonging to the demon suppression department. If you want to learn it, why should I teach you? After hearing this, Yuha let out a silver bell-like laughter, with a smile like crescent moon. She put her small hand behind her and looked at Ye Lingtian, saying, You kid, your mind is really not pure. My sisters are not familiar with you. I suggest you give up this idea. Ye Lingtian is also not good at pursuing it anymore. It seems that tracking and other techniques can only be planned after entering the demon control department. Looking up at Baiyun Mountain, the power fluctuations generated by the battle could be heard from time to time, and the sound of trees collapsing could be seen from time to time. It can be seen from this how intense the battle on the mountaintop is. On the mountaintop, the temple dedicated to the pig demon has become a ruin, with remnants of the battle scattered everywhere. Li Jingyu's shirt and robe were in a state of disrepair, with bloodstains all over his body. His face was pale, and there was a line of blood on the corner of his mouth. He held a broken gun in his right hand, panting heavily, and his gaze was fixed on the plump figure emerging from the ruins. The intelligence is wrong. The pig demon in Baiyun Mountain has just condensed the demon pill. It is clear that it has already condensed the demon pill, and its realm has been completely stable. The plump figure was exactly that pig demon, wearing a tattered coat, with a pig head and a human body, 2 broken fangs, and a height of more than 10 feet. His plump belly was covered in mane, and his hands looked like pig hooves. At this moment, the two pig hooves were gripping a nine-toothed rake. Bark and bustle. After chewing for a while, the pig demon showed a chuckle and said, "You are full of energy, and you have condensed golden pills in your body. You must have a unique flavor when eating." Li Jingyu glanced at the broken spear in his hand. The pig demon not only had immense strength, but also had rough skin and thick flesh. The long spear in his hand was hard broken by the pig demon with a pig's hoof. Looking at the pig demon about to take action again, Li Jingyu gave a bitter smile of helplessness. Fortunately, he had other preparations, otherwise he would have had to explain it here today. I saw him take out a delicate wooden box the size of a palm from his sleeve, open the box, and take out a pill that is only the size of a thumb and deliver it to his mouth. In an instant, a violent medicinal effect spread through his body, and Li Jingyu's face suddenly turned extremely hot. Even his skin was like being burned by fire at this moment. Qi and blood pill can temporarily improve cultivation in physical body. Unless in special circumstances, Li Jingyu would never use it. Pig demon, come again. Li Jingyu seemed to have been beaten with chicken blood, with a strong sense of confidence and no resemblance to someone who had been seriously injured. He threw away his broken gun and clenched his right fist, heading straight towards the pig demon. The pig demon was also startled by Li Jingyu's sudden change, but then became excited and came to kill with a nine-toothed rake. However, Li Jingyu had no intention of evading at all. Faced with the falling nine-toothed rake, he punched directly and roared upwards. The violent force was able to easily smash the nine-toothed rake. The pig demon's eyes were filled with shock, and his fist had already hit him hard in the face. In an instant, the pig demon's face twisted and its entire huge body rolled out, hitting the ground heavily. Before the pig demon could turn over, Li Jingyu clenched his fists and jumped up, riding on the pig demon in one fell swoop. His fists rained wildly on the pig demon.